Let me tell you what. Prepare to be judged.
Cast. You're drunk.
Time for the curse. How did you place it there? This is the funniest concept ever. You about to get fireballed. Oh, no, no. Bam! Yeah, he gave my own. Wrapped it up nice.
Pharaoh spit out his tea.
What a bum. Booga Booga is so very cute. Figured you'd stop by, see what the dealio is. How are you doing, Zanil? I hope you're doing good.
Morn and Boka the forever locked in here with us, Bo. Legends of Aventry's Punkey Doodles or something new.
Punkey Doodles! Which, by the way, Punkey Doodles finally hit 1 million subscribers. So proud for them. Silly puppy. Tricks are for kids. She's going back there, hiding in the little alcove. Alright, Indars! You probably have like 300 something. We're watching Punkey Doodles, guys! Punkey Doodles! Alright, give me a sec. I have to update my screen real quick. Alright. There it is. There we go. I hope you guys like all the Easter eggs in the background. Okay, stop recording! Let's go! Punkey Doodles! Which, by the way, they hit 1 million subscribers. So all the people are starting to understand what I understand, which is Punkey Doodles.
The Grimsby and Gravenhurst Supernatural Detective Agency.
What's seen this one?
Foul at Gloomgullet Hall. Lightning split the sky as detectives Gravenhurst and Grimsby arrived at Gloomgullet Hall, where Sir Percival Snootlebottom had been found impaled on an antique harpsichord during a séance. The suspects trembled before them. Baroness Petunia McSnort, always sneezing when nervous. Colonel Fiddlestick's Wobblecheek, suspiciously jittery, even for a retired mime. Madame Flapdoodle, medium by trade, large by volume. Professor Bumblesnuff, an expert in haunted furniture. Miss Tilly Twerpleton, fiancée of the deceased, known to throw teacups when jilted. It's clear.
Known to throw teacups when jilted.
Gravenhurst declared the harpsichord was possessed. No fork. It was tuned to kill. Madame Flapdoodle gasped, accidentally summoning a minor poltergeist. Professor Bumblesnuff confessed. He called my haunted ottoman a footstool with delusions. I had no choice. Gravenhurst nodded solemnly. Case closed. Grimsby sighed. Another noteworthy crime.
What a bum.
Ugh. The ghost played a B-flat in agreement.
The
Grimsby and Gravenhurst Supernatural Detective Agency. A grave mistake in the fog of Gloomshire. A damp fog curled like spectral fingers through Gloomshire Cemetery, where detectives Gravenhurst and Grimsby stood over the corpse of Mortimer Puddleswick, renowned crypt enthusiast, now freshly de-enthused and face down in an open grave. The suspects emerged from the gloom. Dr. Theodora McSnark, a sarcastic pathologist who hates the outdoors. Reverend Crumblepatch, part-time priest, full-time sleepwalker. Eugene Spoons Wibbleton, a gravedigger obsessed with silverware. Ms. Lavinia Scrunch, local historian with a PhD in passive aggression. Gregory the Damp, a mysterious figure who has just always been here. I warned him not to dig too deep. Dr. McSnark rolled her eyes. He tripped into his own excavation. Impossible, Grimsby said. This was no accident. It was a plot. Ugh. Gravenhurst examined the body. Bludgeoned to death, but no fingerprints, no blood trail. This wasn't just a murder. It was a ritual. He turned slowly to the suspects. Only one among you is sufficiently fluent in ancient funerary rites to summon a ghost to do her dirty work. It was you, Miss Scrunch. You conjured a spirit to strike down poor Mortimer. Before Miss Scrunch could protest, a spectral hand pulled her into the fog. Grimsby sighed. I guess someone was gravely upset. A skeleton applauded politely from a nearby mausoleum. The Grimsby and Gravenhurst Supernatural Detective Agency. The Mummy's Malice at the British Museum. The Egyptology wing of the British Museum was unnaturally still when detectives Gravenhurst and Grimsby stepped inside, the scent of ancient dust and bones hanging thick in the air. There stood hieroglyphics scholar Professor Augustus Tweek, crammed into a display case, half-wrapped and wholly horrified. 5 suspects lingered among the exhibits. Professor Winifred Crankshaw, senior archivist of ancient grievances and marginally legible scrolls. Basil Flimsy, the assistant archivist, currently mid-faint against a bust of Ramses. Lady Euphemia Sphinxworthy, a museum donor who often claimed to remember being buried in ancient Thebes. Nigel Broomhead, the janitor, who refused to speak except through puppets. Miss Thistle Pennyweather, the gift shop manager, who called the sarcophagi her boys. Gravenhurst, eyeing the body, declared, "This wasn't just murder, it was mummification." Grimsby, peering at the victim's last scribbled notes, read aloud, "The curse." Lady Sphinxworthy sniffed. "I told him not to disturb the pharaohs. He mocked my spiritual instincts. And he mocked your ability to read ancient hieroglyphs," Gravenhurst added. "Professor Tweak may have done the translating, but you read the inscription aloud. You didn't lift the curse, you activated it." Lady Sphinxworthy gasped theatrically. "I only wanted to liven up the exhibition." Grimsby sighed. "Well, this certainly wrapped it up nicely."
Wrapped it up nice.
The pharaoh spit out his tea. The Grimsby and Gravenhurst supernatural...
Wow. I gave you a lock of my hair to take with you on your quest and you can't even respond to my scroll. No, I think it's funny. Like, I'm so over dating wizards, dude. All they're ever like is like fireball, fireball, fireball. Why don't you take me to the ball, huh? I'm done. Wow. I gave you a lock of my hair to take with you on your quest and you...
I took Eldritch in school and I fucking hated it. The teacher was like 700 years old and he'd take us on field trips to sit on the banks of a babbling brook and watch the fall of sunlight through the leaves. My friends in Spanish class were like conjugating verbs and shit, and meanwhile I was in an old growth forest being overcome with awe at the sight of a majestic stag. Like, yeah, Mr. Autumnheart. When are we gonna learn, like, any grammar? Listen to the murmur of the wind in the treetops, and you shall find the grammar you seek. Like, fuck, dude, your pedagogy leaves much to be desired. I took Elvish in school, and I fucking hated it. The teacher was, like, 700 years...
Like, fuck, dude. Yeah! He gets moon!
The Grimsby and Gravenhurst Supernatural Detective Agency. Murder afloat on the HMS Clotted Fog.
Clotted Fog.
The HMS Clotted Fog creaked its way through the English Channel under a blanket of dense mist. Passengers paced nervously on the promenade deck, one of them no longer in the mood for promenading due to being quite thoroughly dead. Captain Archibald's sloop had been discovered slumped over the ship's wheel, a sextant protruding from his spine. Detectives Gravenhurst and Grimsby were summoned from first-class supper to first-degree murder. All 5 suspects were members of the crew. Chief Steward Trevor Penwither, who believes death is no excuse for bad posture. Quartermaster Lionel Pewsnap, a nervous man who keeps misplacing the anchor. Ship's nurse...
How did you place it
Monica
there?
Blythe, no nonsense and sharp, with a thermometer. Bosun Tobias Tug Bramble, who insists he can speak fluent seagull.
He did it.
Cook Belinda Drood, her spotted dick is as salty as her language. Gravenhurst inspected the body. Clearly someone wanted the captain to go off course. Permanently, Grimsby sniffed. There's a faint scent of seaweed and something spectral. The ship gave a mournful creak. Bosun Bramble smirked, told him not to sail blind into haunted waters. Gravenhurst turned sharply. The fog isn't natural, is it? It's a veiled passage, an invitation. Bosun Bramble gave a low chuckle. Ghost pirates don't mutiny unless invited. I just lit the lantern and whispered the name of Davy Jones. They did the rest. Grimsby clutched his coat. Well, this cruise just took a turn for the curse.
Turn for the curse!
A sea monster used the commotion to steal a crumpet. The Grimsby and Gravenhurst Supernatural...
Autismo, what exactly are your superpowers?
I can be utterly distracted and singularly focused, all at the same time. I can also lift a car over my head.
Autismo, what exactly are your superpowers?
I cast. You're drunk. I cast. You're drunker. I cast. I cast. You're drunk.
You're
You
drunk.
need to eat healthier. No, the last person who didn't eat healthier after I told them to died. Oh my god. In a firestorm. That sounds unrelated. I cast the firestorm. Do not dissipate. You need
Do not
to
dissipate.
eat healthier. Reverse werewolves. Wolves that turn into confusion.
This is the funniest concept ever.
But excited humans every month at the full moon and run around doing weird human stuff until they wake up the next day in the middle of an office with a suit loosely draped over their wolf form. Reverse werewolves. Wolves that turn into confused...
That would be hilarious. I'm not wrong. You can't tell me I'm wrong.
You stand before the Council of Eldritch
Prepare to be judged.
Judgement.
The council has rendered its verdict upon thee.
You should stop worrying about that thing you're worrying about and get yourself a sweet treat instead.
The council has spoken.
Walalo!
You.
This isn't mine, but I'm gonna tell it. Guy walks into
Ooh, a new one.
X-Men's mansion, right? He goes straight up to Professor X. He says, I want to join the X-Men. Professor X goes, well, do you have a mutant ability? He goes, yes. Professor X goes, what is it? He says, I have the power of hindsight. And Professor X goes, it's not a really great power, to be fair. And the guy goes, yes, I see that now. This isn't mine, but I'm
Council
gonna...
has spoken. Get Boka cake.
Cake!
Imagine you're frolicking in a field, prancing through long grass, singing fa-la-la-la-la, occasionally picking a flower, etc., etc. But a guy in the same field is watching you, about 20 paces away. He lowers his opera glasses, which he was using to watch you, and starts clutching his head and screaming with blind rage because of how much you're pissing him off. That's what it's like to be on the internet.
This is how it is to be on the internet. Let me tell you what!
I can't sleep. I think the bougie man's under the bed.
Don't you mean the boogeyman?
Wow, the thread count on these sheets is pathetic.
Oh dear.
I can't sleep. I think the
Town all the way. Na, 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 na. Hi, Alan.
How long does someone have to be dead before it's considered archaeology instead of grave robbing?
As an archaeologist, I find this a very awkward question.
Answer the question, grave robber.
Grave robber.
You stand before the Council of Eldritch Judgment.
Prepare to be judged.
The council has rendered its verdict upon thee. If your bae is leaving you on red, don't sweat it, King. She's not ghosting you.
She'll slide back into your DMs when she's done being a boss.
The council has spoken.
Walalo!
You.
Zombie outbreak started 2 years ago. Now you find yourself cornered by a decaying zombie when you do the unthinkable and bite it first. When it falls to the floor and grows its skin back and sits up and asks, what is going on? How the fuck did you know that would work? I didn't, dude. I just panicked. Zombie outbreak.
That'd be very interesting to watch. I'm gonna be honest.
What's a wizarding opinion that'll get you locked up like this? Fireball is such a caveman ass spell. The whole arcane weave is in the palm of your hands, and all you can think of is big fire. Promethean Neanderthals. What's a wizarding?
He did. You about to get fireballed.
We should be safe at this distance, right? Yeah, that wizard doesn't have a spell with enough range to get us, so... Wait, what the hell is he holding?
Cast 50 caliber magic missile!
BAM! BAM!
Arrow dunks into Rogue. Barbarian. Look, a note. It says, I, Ranger, have joined your party. Yay!
Yay!
Arrow dunks into Rogue. This note says, by the way, if I wanted the Rogue dead, the Rogue would be dead. I like the Ranger.
I like
Arrow
the Ranger.
dunks into Rogue. Barbarian.
Poor Rogue.
I cast too many thumbs.
Too many thumbs!
I cast permanently warm pillow.
Fuck.
Yeah, I knew it.
Vampire. What do you call the land that meets the sea? May I come in? What was that? What do you call the land that meets the sea? May I come in? Sure? You fool.
What's funny is if if we go by Punkey Doodles like lore and stuff, that's the vampire that just wants platonic friendships. So you're gonna have to play categories with him. He plays